So I'm going to have to say that magical word spoilers. There's a few minor spoilers here. I'm not going to go into any major spoilers. I don't want to spoil the movie for myself. I wouldn't have spoiled it for anyone else. So there's a few things here that just help enlighten the characters and maybe give you some ideas. And some things are just things that we've been chatting about ourselves that would be good ideas or fun ideas to see in the movie. Knights of Ren. I have kind of an inkling that they're like the key word that JJ said was the Nazis in Argentina. And obviously the Nazis, one of the first things that springs to mind is the SS. So they're the elites, they're the best equipped, they're the best soldiers, and they're also the most fanatical about Nazism, or in this case for the First Order and the Knights of Ren. There will be also the most, they believe most deeply in the beliefs they've been given. So in this the Imperial Doctrine, we're not 100% sure.
Rebuilding the Empire. And
we also know that Kylo Ren is a massive Darth Vader fanboy, as said by JJ himself.
But do we think that Darth Vader set this group up before he died?
We don't know. There's been a few people murmuring that maybe Darth Vader, once he found out that Luke was his son, he immediately knew he couldn't trust the Emperor anymore and started building a private army. We'll know more in the future. There's a comic book series coming out called Shattered Empire, which immediately is going to start telling us what happened to the Empire after Return of the Jedi.
Doesn't sound promising from the title.
No, I think at the end of Return of the Jedi, the Rebels have won a great little victory. They've chopped off the head, but there's still a huge galactic army and Starfleet that they don't have a chance to defeat on their own.
And infrastructure.
Yeah, the only thing they can hope for is that the Empire turns on itself. It fails to put someone else in charge.
Oh, great. So their best bet is Civil War.
Their best bet is Civil War, yeah.
Awesome.
But they obviously feel like it's worth the cost, don't they? And I think Luke feels like it's worth the cost. They'll think the Empire is that bad. They did destroy a planet. So it's one of those. And I think this episodes 4 to 6 was very black and white. The good guys are good, the bad guys are bad. And I think now times have changed. And we're probably going to see a much, much greyer Star Wars. And I think JJ has said that himself, that things aren't going to be quite so clear-cut anymore.
Which I prefer.
Yeah, it's a far more interesting storyline plot. So, the Knights of Ren themselves are interesting. Ren, the actual Ren is a Chinese word, and it's meant to be. It's the sort of feeling you have for protecting your children. It's meant to be of a very noble pursuit of protecting the weak, and it's also linked politically to protecting citizens as well. So maybe the Knights of Ren feel like they have this duty to protect the citizens of the Empire, and my only guess is that because they're Dark Force users, that they're just willing to do whatever it takes to bring peace to the galaxy. And if they are linked to Darth Vader, he has a few quotes about this. He jokes about with Padme in episode 2, where he thinks a strong dictatorship is the only thing that can bring peace to the galaxy. And also in episode 5, when confronting Luke, he says that if him and Luke join together, they can overthrow the Emperor and bring peace to the galaxy. So that was a major thing to him. And I think Darth was just one of those characters that would willingly kill a few billion people to bring peace to everyone else.
To save trillions. Maybe Darth was the hero.
He had the ends does not justify the means.
But then where do you draw the line? So if you could kill 1 billion people to save 1 trillion, is it worth it? I don't know. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying I think Darth wanted peace overall. Was he that bad a guy?
And I kind of feel that's where the Knights of Ren their loyalties are gonna lie. They're willing to get out there, do the dirty work to bring peace and to protect the people of the Empire.
But isn't that what our armies do? They go out there and they kill people so that we can have peace.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be all about the point of view, isn't it? They do seem a little bit like, say, commissars from World War II era. They're out there leading troops. They're not just on their own. Whenever you see Kylo Ren, he has stormtroopers around him. So they're directly involved, and why they're burning villages? Are they just trying to root out rebels, or are they up to something else more sinister? We don't know. And this is the first Star Wars that will use backflashes. It's not been confirmed officially, but there's been a lot of rumors from people have given out rumors before they've been confirmed, and it makes sense. It's been 30 years from the last movie, and so whether the backflash is whether it means that we just backflash to a slightly earlier point, or it backflashes like 10-15 years, we don't know.
I like backflashes as long as it's done well.
Yeah.
So basically, we're saying Kylo Ren probably is the bad guy, but he sees himself as the good guy, and he might have some valid points.
I think Kylo Ren might not be a very good bad guy at this point in time either, because they've said that he is going to be a major part of this trilogy.
Of the trilogy?
Yeah, of the trilogy.
Okay.
And
they said that?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I feel like there'll be no tension.
Maybe they said story.
I hope
but
so.
They said this is what definitely his character arc is going to be similar to Luke's character arc, which suggests that when we first meet Kylo Ren, he is only just beginning with the Force.
He's annoying little man.
Annoying idealist, little Luke. So he is nowhere near the finished arc when we first meet. He is not Vader storming around, crushing people's throats, with no fears.
Well, he's built a dodgy lightsaber to begin with.
Yeah, that's a very good start. So he's not level 0 in an RPG. He's got to level 2 or 3. Got some equipment. Another important plot point. His mask looks like a very famous Star Wars character's mask, Revan.
And we've seen this mask in a behind the scenes, or where have we seen this mask?
His mask, he wears it, and there's also some artwork that came out even before we saw his mask on
So
screen.
we know his mask.
Yeah.
This isn't some leak. This is a...
No, we've seen his mask. We've definitely seen his mask.
So we know his mask, okay.
And also, we've seen Darth Vader's helmet.
It looks like it's been abandoned, but then obviously they still have it. So
the helmet?
Yeah.
I think it just looks like it's on display, kind of.
Do you think?
Yeah.
It's at an angle, maybe.
So there is a suggestions of underlying plot of someone, most likely Kylo Ren or maybe the Knights of Ren, are gathering artifacts, Jedi and Sith artifacts.
Oh, right. Okay.
Trying to learn more about the Force. Because the Sith are dead. The Jedi are all but wiped out. And the Emperor tried his best to destroy as much information as he could, leaving all the power of the Force with him. So I think if they want to learn more about the Force, they're desperate to find some information on it. So I think that's an interesting plot as well.
So you think they're hunting for Luke?
I'm not sure they're hunting for Luke.
He's the only one that knows about the Force. Or does Leia know a bit?
No, when we leave Leia,
know.
she knows nothing about the Force.
Right. So
other than what she's seen
Luke
do.
Luke is basically, as far as we know, the only living person to have been Force trained at some level.
Yeah. And if they do in some way worship or follow Darth Vader, they will hate Luke because Luke killed him.
But will they?
They might not even know that though. Like, it's one of those, like, who's to know what happened in that battle?
I feel like, would they hate him because he's his son?
I don't know.
I don't know. If I really loved someone and they had a son, I don't think I'd hate them.
Yeah, this thing, it all depends what the Knights of Ren, what they're up to. So we don't know if the war. The war is definitely still going, but we don't know if the Empire's been defeated. That still has to be confirmed. I would imagine it hasn't. It makes a more interesting trilogy if it hasn't.
I think it's probably been depleted.
Yeah,
certainly depleted, but probably not defeated.
Well, the rebels are called the Resistance, which definitely doesn't sound like they're in charge of much.
True.
It sounds like they're still on the fringe. Unless maybe a republic has been born again, but it's just corrupt and a mess still, and they're still fighting it out.
I mean, look, anything, just recently, any countries that have become democracies, they don't start off very well, do they? It takes a long time to establish.
It's a horrible mess. Supreme Leader Snoke. He's a Dark Force user. He knows the ways of the Dark Force, but he's definitely not a Sith. They've confirmed that. He is helping Adam Driver's character Kylo Ren become stronger. Is he Supreme Leader of the Empire or the First Order, or is he Supreme Leader of, say, the Knights of Ren or something else? It's been very vague about that.
Debatable. I personally think he's supreme. To me, it sounds religious cult as opposed to. But then, is the leader of North Korea called the Supreme Leader?
I'm not sure.
I just think slightly unhinged.
Yeah.
You don't need to put the word Supreme Leader. You know, President, Emperor. You don't need Supreme Leader unless it's a bit odd, in my opinion.
So yeah, we've not seen his face either. Also, he doesn't look like, whenever we see the Empire and the Empire shots or the New Order shot with all the stormtroopers in front of the new banner, it's definitely not a CGI person who looks like is in charge. It looks like it's General Hux, who's played by, sorry, I always get his name all, Donald Gleason, who's a quite young-looking general.
He's young.
Yeah.
He's older than he looks, but he looks young.
And also Gwendolyn Christie, who's playing Captain Phasma, is not that old either. So it looks like the hierarchy of the New Order, if that is the full hierarchy, is very young. Are they some fanatical offshoots? We don't know, but it's not the typical Empire hierarchy of old white men in charge. It's a very different lineup,
which is a good thing.
So yeah, we're not sure if there is a new emperor or a new leader, or if Supreme Leader Snoke is the leader. It's very vague, but I'm very interested to see what happens next. Rather than talking about what's maybe going to be in this movie, I can tell you something that's definitely not going to be in this movie.
One of my favourite parts of the Star Wars.
Midichlorians.
What?
JJ has confirmed that they are out of there.
It's a shame.
You're out.
I liked a bit of understanding as to why people had the Force. Like, why do people have the Force? It's like some genetic mutation. Is it like X-Men? No, there's midichlorians. And they're just coming around and choosing their people.
Tiny little beings that help you access or are the Force.
Parasites? Would you say parasite?
Maybe. But they didn't do anything for the movies other than give people a midichlorian count, like in a crap computer game. And then they weren't really mentioned again. So they're gone, thankfully. I'm quite happy about that.
I don't know. They'll be missed by some.
What for?
Well, you could just, they've got the new DNA things where you can scan.
Yeah.
I like the idea you can just scan someone and get their midichlorian count. And also, if there is some witch hunt for Jedi, what a great way to do it. You
It's
just
handy
get
that way.
It's a little plot, a tool, a device.
I won't miss the midichlorians, they were idiots.
Yeah, they weren't smart. They didn't pick the right horse, did they?
No, so they apparently they somehow make Anakin Skywalker, who then goes out to kill as many Jedi and Sith as he can get his hands on, drastically putting the midichlorians into the endangered species category. So unless these were like little right-wing midichlorians that hated all the other ones, I'm not sure what they're up to, but they're not a very successful living creature or entity.
No, they weren't. No, that's true.
So goodbye midichlorians, you won't be missed.
You might buy some.
The final puppet they did for the Wampa in episode 5 looks fantastic. Because originally in episode 5 it was just a sock puppet. It looked like a sock puppet. But this is a little bit of the money he did spend quite well in the re-editings and the slight reboots they did just before they released episodes 1, 2 and 3. And the puppet, the full-size, man-sized puppet they did for that was scary, really good, fantastically done. Yeah, and that's not aged.
Is it true that Ewoks were meant to be Wookiees?
I don't know. That's a great story if it is.
They
Apparently,
didn't have enough money.
The budget, originally the storyline that Ewoks were going to be Wookiees, but they looked at the costing of it and it would have cost so much more to make that many Wookiee outfits. They went for Ewoks instead. It would have been a far darker movie if they were Wookiee slaves.
They'd have been more successful.
It would have been more convincing that Wookiees raised up and beat the living crap out of stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Although chimps aren't that big and they're way, way stronger than a man.
But chimps are a bit more edgy. I definitely think the Wookiees didn't have the edge that a chimpanzee.
Ewoks, yeah.
A nasty chimp can.
So next talking point, Max von Sydow. He is other than
That's the actor's name.
Yeah.
It could be a Star Wars name, couldn't it?
it could be as well. Other than Andy Serkis, he's the only person who hasn't been revealed what he looks like. And I think he's pretty much now the only person who was a big star sign at the beginning. They've not actually revealed what his character name is either.
Was he? He wasn't in the previous ones.
No, but judging by episodes 4, 5, and 6 and what he looks like, he should be an Imperial general. But he's not.
I wonder why they've not given the name. What role do you think he has?
Well, my only idea is that he could be Kanan, who is one of the lead characters in Star Wars Rebels. So age-wise, he fits the bill. Kanan's going to be about 70s, 80s until then. And one little rumour I've heard is that this character, who's now partly cybernetic, he's that old, starts the whole process off because he successfully identifies a lightsaber found in a junkyard.
What Max von Sydow does?
Or Kanan, yeah, him playing Kanan.
Oh, so, but does Kanan do this in Star Wars Rebels?
No, but he is a Jedi in it, or not quite a Jedi. He was a Jedi apprentice when it
all went a bit wrong.
All went wrong, so he didn't get too far into his training.
But Anakin killed all the Jedi apprentices.
Yeah,
quite brutally.
Oh, well, that's the thing. There's rumours that Kanan might be killed off in season 2. We don't know. But if he survives season 2 of Rebels, there's a very good chance he could be in this movie. I don't think that's a major spoiler. It might not even be a real spoiler, but apparently it's what kicks off the movie, the hunt to find Luke Skywalker, because he comes out, he's half gone, he doesn't really say or do much anymore, but as soon as he sees a lightsaber, he starts talking, his brain starts working again, and he tells Daisy Ridley or Rey what it is and what it means.
That her father has lost his lightsaber in his arm.
Yes, well, we don't know who Daisy Ridley is yet.
Do you think, finding this lightsaber and reactivating the lightsaber could sort of awaken Force? Is the lightsaber, you know how you build your own lightsaber?
Yeah.
Is it a part of you? So reactivating it, could it do that?
You need Force powers to build a lightsaber. Right. Otherwise you can't position a crystal accurately and it won't work.
But you can use a lightsaber, someone else's lightsaber.
Yeah, normal things use lightsaber, but just like anyone with a weapon, they could just hurt themselves with it. I don't think so, unless something's happened to this lightsaber.
Maybe it's special. Wait, was it Anakin's?
It was Anakin's.
So did Luke not build his own? No, he did.
No, eventually he did, yeah. We don't see him build one, but he eventually fights Darth Vader with a new green lightsaber. And Darth Vader says to him, "Your training is complete," when he sees it.
It's not Luke.
Well, he's able to defeat... Well...
he
defeats Darth on his own.
He doesn't really, does he?
Yeah. It's only when he refuses to fight Darth...
Yeah.
Then Darth reads his mind, finds out he's got a sister, and he says, "If you won't join us, maybe your sister will." At which point Luke freaks out and just starts wailing on him, and through anger he defeats Darth. And at which point the Emperor's loving it. Yeah.
That Luke could be.
But he passes it. He refuses the Emperor.
Barely passes it.
Yeah, barely, but he does.
I have a theory that Luke's just as bad as Darth.
Well, we're getting onto that. So, Emperor Luke. This is an idea that Alana had a few weeks ago, which was I found immediately funny. But it could have some credence. So the Empire's fallen into a big mess, and somehow maybe he's offered the role, or maybe he could take it, or he's got the ability to pretend to be Darth Vader, put a suit on, pretend to be Darth Vader.
Do a DNA test. There could be some matching.
Yeah, Emperor Luke. Now, that would be a big, big twist in episode 7.
I'd love it. I'd also love it if he was slightly evil as well. Not just do-gooder, but just do what's best for the world, which may not be best for that individual that he kills type person.
I think Han Solo would do, but I think Luke, he's made his pledge to the light side. If it means his own life, if it means basically accepting some form of pacifism where he doesn't raise up his sword in the end, I don't think Luke would. But you never know, 30 years have passed, maybe millions of people have died in this war.
Maybe Luke falls in love, has some children, and then turns to the dark side to save them.
Yeah.
Like father, like son.
Yeah, but...
Don't do it, JJ, don't do it.
Yeah, what George Lucas used to say about episodes 1 and 2 and 3 is it's poetry, it rhymes, but really it was just a complete lack of ideas and lack of direction. So this is a little idea I've had, and it kind of fits in with the rumours there's going to be backflashes and the rumours that maybe Luke is in some form of self-exile.
Luke, don't do it, come out.
In the extended universe, there's always been the idea that Luke found a Jedi Academy and starts training up new Jedi.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that's happened. I'd be surprised if that doesn't happen.
Oh, so you think Luke sets up a Jedi Academy?
I'm pretty sure. I would be shocked if he hasn't done that. Or at least trained a few people.
Right.
But what I thought would
Leia.
be... yeah, maybe. Although it doesn't look like anything like a Jedi in what we've seen. But what I thought would be interesting, because JJ's already said that he's found in some of this movie and historical anomalies like the Nazis in Argentina. The Ottoman Empire used to abduct Christian children and over time train them and eventually they'd make them into some of their best fighting forces and most dedicated fighting forces.
Abduct children.
Oh, I'm
telling you, he can turn to the dark
I think the
side.
other way. What if the Knights of Ren are abducting children that have force powers and making them join that way? And then imagine this would be an amazing sequence that Luke and his Jedi Academy comes under assault from these unknown Dark Force users, and they steal the person that's going to become Kylo Ren. So he's there,
Okay,
a
so
young
he's
apprentice.
Had some basic training.
Yeah, maybe young man, 7 or 8, young boy, and the Knights of Ren storm in and take him away. And then when he reappears in the main movie at the current timeline, everything's changed.
Okay.
And then maybe tying the fact that the person who is Kylo Ren could have been a family member.
I don't think so. I don't think they look at all the same.
Yeah, we've had this chat. Maybe he's related to either Solo or Skywalker, but he does look. He's got the hook nose and the different looks to him.
He's got very strong features, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I've said.
Unless Luke has a very different looking wife.
Supermodel, maybe.
So this is another one that makes sense across the course of the trilogy: the changing face of war. So imagine that this first movie is going to be focused around the continuing struggle of the Empire and the Rebellion, now called the First Order and the Resistance. But in the background, there's going to be two opposing, not Jedi anymore, but light Force users and Dark Force users, building up, training, getting ready to take each other on. And so the trilogy starts off with more of a straight up Rebels versus Empire feel, but in the background things are building up towards the finale.
Guerrilla warfare.
And the finale is guerrilla warfare and light versus dark. And over the course of a trilogy, you make some new favourites, find some new favourites, and on each side, and they're certainly killed off. And then which kind of links into a chat we've had about Finn. So Finn's holding a lightsaber in the forest.
Luke's lightsaber.
Apparently.
Anakin's lightsaber.
And Anakin and Luke's.
How do we know that? That's been confirmed.
That's been confirmed, yeah.
Right, okay.
Just by JJ said that is Luke Skywalker / Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber.
So what we're saying is, this is just to timeline it. The old bloke, this is your theory, the old bloke...
Max von Sydow
finds Luke's lightsaber.
No, I think Daisy finds it.
And gives it to Max, who
And
explains
Max
what
just
it is.
notices what it is, yeah.
And says, oh look, that's Luke's lightsaber, that's got some provenance.
Yeah.
And
then she has to team up with pirates to get off planet, which makes sense. And then they deliver it to Leia, who's the only one that they know where she is.
Okay, but then how on earth does Finn get it?
I don't know. Well, Finn and Rey definitely team up pretty quickly in the movie.
It'd be funny if Finn only's in like for 5 minutes at the end. I assume he's a mage part.
I don't know. That's been kept. It's been kept totally in the dark about who. Maybe they know each other. Maybe they're all friends or something like that. And he flees to her because she knows that she's out of the way or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe he goes to save her. Maybe they're in love.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so they're then together. Finn now has the lightsaber.
I think something has definitely happened to go get Luke.
So you think the whole story is based around finding Luke?
The quest for Luke.
Okay, and around that, the building up of the Knights of Ren, the forces of good and evil,
and the war's continuing.
And the war's continuing, and the back. Okay.
Which leads to my final point. Why would you go find Luke? What has happened? Something horrible has probably happened. Something beyond belief, which links to.
And Luke can be the only one that saves them.
Luke's maybe the only one that's got the powers to save people from this force.
I feel then that means someone on the dark side's risen up and become Darth Vader powerful.
Yeah, which
and only Luke can save him. So it's got to be, what's his name?
Snoke.
Oh no, I was going to say Kylo Ren, but you think he's still a novice.
I think Kylo Ren's too young.
Okay, so Snoke's taken over. He's this evil, not Sith Lord, but uses the dark side Lord. They need someone to kill him. The only person they think can kill him is Luke.
Or defeat him.
Or defeat him. That's right. Let's not kill him.
Yeah.
That's quite evil. So they're off to find Luke because they think he's the only one that can do it.
Save the day, yeah. And Luke's in self exile because of his failures, or maybe
because he's realised that maybe the Empire wasn't that bad.
Which links to, as we said earlier, there's a lot of secrecy around Snoke. We've not seen what he looks like yet.
But it's played by Andy Serkis, so we're assuming it's going to be some CGI, Planet of the Apes, Gollum, that's his thing.
It's definitely going to be an alien. They say it's going to be some form of alien.
So it's going to be some awesome live action.
Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Oh yeah, right. The bloke that the Emperor tried to convert Anakin with. He said that he can come back from the dead or bring people back from the dead.
He said, Darth Plagueis the Wise. Have you heard the legend of Darth Plagueis the Wise? His ability to keep people from dying and maybe even resurrect them from the dead.
So you think Snoke's Darth
Plagueis.
Plagueis. You think that's who he is?
I think.
But he's given himself this awesome new name of Supreme Leader.
I think what better villain as one that can come back from the dead in the Star Wars universe? We faced.
Oh, and then Luke could maybe be the only one that could.
And maybe his coming back from the dead has started something.
In Harry Potter with Voldemort.
Has started the Force Awakens.
Yeah, like with Harry Potter and all of that malarkey, yeah. Alright.
This powerful entity has risen somehow. That story would be interesting enough in itself. And he's come back and he's started to tinker with Force users around him and started to build the Knights of Ren. Or maybe they're all the Knights of Ren already there and he's manipulated them.
Like Voldemort.
Yeah.
He thought he was gone. He wasn't gone.
So I think it'd be very interesting bad guy. There's a few small rumours saying that he looks like some sort of undead Cobra Man, which kind of
like Voldemort.
I hope he's not. Yeah, I hope he's not too much like Voldemort.
Sounds a little bit like him. They all thought he was dead.
But anyway, Voldemort's a good bad guy.
He was a good bad guy.
And what more of a challenge for Luke than no living Force user and probably no living person's got a chance of taking on a risen Sith Lord. The only person possible that has that any experience or that could help out would be Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker there to save the day.
And
then so Han's off to find them, and Daisy's like, "Oh, but I've built the Millennium Falcon for you," and he's like, "Oh, welcome home."
Yeah.
And they go on to it to try to find Luke to persuade him out of his exile.
Because
it could be a film. It could be completely different, though.
It could be. But I think that would be... Star Wars is meant to be good fun. It's meant to be a fun ride. You introduce some characters, you learn about them, and you put them in difficult situations, and they achieve something by the end of the movie. That's typical. That's for...
He's talking about Anakin. He achieved becoming a really nasty man in a really short time.
Yeah. I think that would be a great little plot device.
Yeah, no, I think that's good because I loved Harry Potter. So
I didn't see the Harry Potter links there, but hopefully, yeah, maybe JJ's a massive fan of Harry Potter as well.
Who isn't?
But that's the thing. That's the only thing in the movies which generates a good bad guy, because everyone else is just dead. But there's one question mark. There's a couple conversations about Darth Plagueis the Wise.
It's been mentioned. Things have come up.
It's only in episode 3. That's it. When?
Oh no.
Yeah.
But not from like JJ.
No.
Okay.
No. There's been an awkward answering of a question. Like, so for instance, they were having an interview and someone said, "Midichlorian's going to be in the movie," and they went, "No," and they went, "Is Supreme Leader Snoke or Snook? Sorry,
It's got to be Snoke.
Is
Smoke
a pseudonym for Plagueis?" And the guy's like, no. It's just like there's a bit of hesitation.
Oh, but he said no.
He said no, but there's a bit of hesitation. Whereas on Midichlorians, no, it's not happening.
Such a shame.
Yeah,
about the Midichlorians.
So long, Midichlorians. Good riddance. Well, thank you very much for listening to our first webisode of Star Wars Chat. We hope you enjoyed it. Next time we're speaking about why I believe Episode 7 is going to be a good, if not great, movie. I know a lot of people have reserved opinions, let's say. I don't think the Disney purchasing it is a bad thing. I think it can be a very, very good thing.
I think Disney have made great stuff.
They've made some great things, and I'll be
Pixar,
giving some arguments for it in the next webisode. Please respond to me and respond to our chat in the comments below, or drop us an email. Once again, we're here just because we love talking about Star Wars. And so if you've got any ideas or you found anything on the internet that isn't a massive spoiler, then get back to me. That'd be fantastic. Cheers for listening.
Bye.